Okay, so the very common kind of a problem where they give you a picture of something in an equation and give you a couple different points and then ask you to figure out something about the equation. Two equations, two unknowns. You need to plug both sets of points into the equation itself so you can have two equations, and then we can either use an elimination method thing or we do the multiplication to get a thing to drop out, or we can put them right in the calculator. This is my second attempt at this because my first attempt I plugged the wrong numbers in. So don't do that because it'll make it take a lot longer. So when I plug a negative 1 in for x, I get a 0 for y. So 0 equals c plus b times negative 1 minus negative 1 squared. I'm going to simplify this out a little, and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do with it in a minute. Minus b minus 1. Be careful with that. Negative 1 squared is 1, but then it's minus that, so it's minus 1. When I plug in a 3, I get a 16. This is why I made my mistake when I did this the first time. So 16 equals c plus b times 3 minus 3 squared. So I had minus 16. I put a 16 in there I did the first time. So 16 equals c plus 3b minus 9. So I got these two equations. Now I can do a bunch of different stuff with them. I can solve them both for 0. I can play around with them. I am just going to solve them both for, say, c. All right, so I'm going to minus c minus c. Minus c equals minus b minus 1. Divide everything by negative 1 and get c equals b plus 1. For this one, I am going to subtract the 16 over to here and subtract the c over to here. And I get negative c equals 3b minus 25. Divide by, whoops, not over negative c. Divide by negative 1, negative 1, negative 1. C equals negative 3b plus 25, negative over negative. Those two things are going in the calculator. I'm going to make it y equals x plus 1 and y equals negative 3x plus 25. Remember that c is y and b is going to be x at the end when I get done. So, graph is my failed attempt right there. So, it's x plus 1 and then negative 3x plus 25. So now, when I graph this, I'm going to see one of the lines, the other one's right there. Perfect. I can see the cross right there. Second, calculate. Second, calculate. Intersect point. Blue line. Can't even see that. It's off the screen, I think. Come on, Mr. Blinky. There's it is. Red line, and then guess. So they cross at 6, 7. So that means the solution is 6, 7, which means x equals 6, y equals 7, which means b equals 6, c equals 7. Now, anything like this, you can just trust it and say, yep, b is 6, or I would take 30 seconds and go back to my original equation and say f of x equals 7 plus 6x plus x squared. And I would make sure, minus x squared, and I would make sure that that actually has these 2 points on it. So I'm going to go back to my graph. I'm going to clear both of these out of there. 7 plus 6x minus x squared. Enter. Go to the table. Negative 1 zeros there. And 316 is the right point, right? 316, I'm going to hit the graph button and make sure that it looks relatively the same. I'm going to zoom out, zoom out. Looks like that, which looks similar to that graph. I have no scale for reference, but it looks like that. All right, so I should be covered. That should be right, and that should be good.